back to another tier list video. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone that this is mostly my own opinion, so if you do not share the same thoughts as me, please drop your own tier list down in the comments below. Now today we're taking a look at every single major update or DLC to GTA Online since 2015 and ranking it on a tier list. They'll only be major updates. Updates like Capture and Beach Bum that added like a single game mode and just clothing won't be discussed, as unlike my previous list, this will be mostly my own opinion, and in my opinion, the updates from 2013 to 2015 just honestly were pretty okay. They didn't really add much and they'd mostly be in the C and D tier compared to the other updates. But me personally, I've been playing GTA Online since launch day. I was there in October 2013 and I've still been there for every single update's launch date. So I'm going to take a trip back to 2015 and check out the very first major GTA Online update, which was Heists. The first update of 2015 was one of the best updates ever to bless GTA Online, and to say 2015 was a great year for GTA Online was an understatement. Online was entering a renaissance. Kicking this off was Heists. The long-promised online update came out swinging, adding 5 new heists, each with up to 5 setups each. 1 new weapon, 16 new vehicles including the fan favourites Hydra and Kuruma, and 100 new clothing items, plus the outfit saving feature, daily objectives, 3 new free roam activities which have since been removed on the Xbox One, PS4 and PC version. This update was massive and is easily the biggest update ever given to GTA Online until 2020, but we'll get back to that. It was well worth the wait though. The 2-year wait for it was great. The cars were great, the quality of life updates were amazing, and the heists were great. The Fleeca job was great tutorial and it was fast and easy to do for cash. Prison Break was fun but difficult. Humane Labs was great but horrific with randoms due to deliver EMP, which is not a good setup. Series of Funding was alright, but definitely the weakest of the bunch, and the absolute best one was Pacific Standard. Difficult but such a high reward. This alone, Pacific Standard alone, was well worth the wait. I think this is the gold standard for a GTA Online update. Not everyone will agree, but 5 heists of just genuinely pure quality easily puts us in the S tier for me, and the cars and clothes are just a cherry on top. 3 months after the excellent heist, we received Ill-Gotten Gains, and it added 1 new weapon, engraved camels for weapons, 4 new cars, 2 new golden aircraft, but were not new at all, and 180 new clothing items. It was much smaller than Heist for sure, and to this day it still doesn't make sense why this update was separated into 2 parts. If Ill-Gotten Gains Part 1 and 2 were combined, I generally think it would have been okay. But, looking at Part 1 by itself, it's just bad. The weapon wasn't good, the cars are okay, and the aircraft was just made to make you spend money. Unfortunately, this is a D tier. It added 1 gun, some clothing items, and 4 cars. A couple weeks later came Part 2 to the Ill-Gotten Gains saga, and it was the very final update for the Xbox 360 and PS3 generation, and it came with 1 new pistol, 1 new melee weapon, 6 new vehicles, and 140 new clothing items. Again, not much to say here, it adds very little. Vehicles just felt a little bit better. We got the T20 and the Brawler, which were alright, and just to be honest, a completely another D tier update. After the disastrous Ill-Gotten Gains Parts 1 and 2, we head back on track for the release of Lowriders, adding 8 new missions, 3 new adversary modes, 170 clothing items, 2 new weapons, 8 new vehicles, and those 8 vehicles got the ability to transform into Lowriders with hundreds of customizations to do. I think this update was solid. We got a decent bit of story and missions with the Lamar missions, which were, there was quite a lot, 8 missions. A great amount of car customization, and a solid amount of clothing and weapons. I don't think it's the best update ever, but I do think it's one of the better ones. I personally spent a lot of time playing this one, and it really got me back into the game after a rough double updates with the Ill-Gotten Gains. But I think Lowriders belongs in the B tier just because of the car customization alone. In December came the final 2015 update, adding the ability to become a VIP, which added 6 new VIP works, 6 VIP challenges, 70 free clothing items, 2 new weapons, 22 new vehicles, 3 purchasable yachts, 10 new stealth homes, and 3 new penthouse apartments, allowing a theme to be chosen for your apartment. Wow, that's just quite the massive update. It added quite a bit. Tons of vehicles, yachts, new homes, new penthouses, and new gameplay of the VIP work, which would lay the foundation for later updates. I do think this one lacks new gameplay innovations, but the amount of new stuff added, I think makes it belong in the B tier. The first major update of 2016 came to us with the part 2 to the Lowriders DLC, adding 3 new adversary modes, 160 clothing items, 2 new weapons, 6 new vehicles with full Lowrider customization, but the update wasn't great. It didn't really add anything of value, to be honest, and personally I didn't really like the cars, and well, after that, if you didn't like the cars, there's not much left to do in this update. So I think it's going to be a C tier update. Now you might think I'm being a bit harsh, but I'm comparing Lowriders Custom Classics to the original Lowriders, and it definitely did not deliver at all. In June of 2016 came one of the biggest, if not completely game-changing updates since Heists to ever hit GTA Online. Further adventures into finance and felony added the ability to buy an office and become a CEO, expanding upon the VIP system. You could buy a warehouse to do crate missions, the very first ever business, 2 new adversary modes, 14 new vehicles, and 200 clothing items. The business aspect here completely changed the future of GTA Online as we know it. The game went from a game of customizations, a lot about customization and heists, and then went completely into this business approach, which were grindable, highly repeatable, with decent pay. I think this update deserves praise for adding a ton of content for customization fans, and delivering a ton of new great content and gameplay. It definitely set up the future for online, and if you love it or hate it, gotta say, this update started a massive change. There was a massive change from here. Businesses were the new focus of GTA Online, and I think this update deserves an A tier for that alone. A month after Finance and Felony came the Cunning Stunts update, which added 27 new stunt races, 15 new vehicles, 150 clothing items, and the cleanup of the interaction menu, which was getting kind of crowded at this point. It was definitely a smaller update for sure, and it really wasn't an update that I'm personally into, because I don't really like the stunting part of GTA, but you have to respect the fact that only 1 month after Finance and Felony, they released this. A pretty big update with, 15 cars. I think I'm going to give this a C tier. It's not a big update, but definitely not a bad update at all. In October of 2016 came the Bikers update, which expanded upon the Finance and Felony update massively, adding 21 new vehicles, 7 new weapons, 380 new clothing items, the ability to buy a biker clubhouse, and 4 biker businesses to passively run in the background. These new biker businesses were not active businesses, meaning they were passively running in the background, meaning you just restocked it, and in the background it's making product to sell, unlike crates which required you to kind of go out, get the crates, and then sell it. I think this update is another top tier one. It added a ton of vehicles, weapons, and a major new gameplay element of the clubhouses and biker businesses. In my opinion, this belongs in the A tier. It's almost an S tier, but the businesses are basically the exact same, so they're way too similar for it to be an S tier. December 13th, 2016 came one of the best, if not the very best update GTA has ever seen. Import-Export added the vehicle warehouses, allowing you to go out and steal high-end cars to sell for decent profits, and this update is spectacular, adding 8 special vehicle work, 8 CEO work, 260 clothing items, 22 new cars, office garages on top of this. This update added so much for every aspect of the player base. For solo and co-op players, vehicle warehouses, and tons of fun and profitable missions came from that. For people who like jobs and missions, they got special vehicle work, which was very similar to normal jobs. And the cars were great, with the Ruiner 2000 for example being able to jump into the air and glide down with a parachute that extended from the roof. This is easily an S tier update, there is no doubt about it. Gunrunning added bunkers, the mobile operations center, gunrunning business, 690 new clothing items, 19 new vehicles including the Oppressor Mark I, 7 new adversary modes, 7 MOC jobs, 6 new Mark II weapons, and 80 new weapon attachments for Mark II weapons. Not much to say here. Gunrunning is one of the best updates it ever added to GTA Online. It added tons of content, but I do know a lot of people may call this as the downfall of GTA Online, with vehicles such as the Oppressor and APC being added. But me personally, I love this one. It added a ton to the game and it was well worth the wait. Welcome to the S tier, Gunrunning. August 29th came the sort of sequel to Gunrunning. adding hangars, customizable aircraft, the air freight business, 300 clothing items, 14 new aircraft, 5 vehicles, and the ability to kill yourself with the Mark II pistol. That's probably the biggest change, to be honest. This update was, and still is, mixed, as if you didn't really like air content, you probably hated this update. I liked air content personally, and I still wasn't too big on it. The business was boring and was just an air version of the standard crate business, but much worse and less profitable, and it just kind of felt lackluster. But it did add a ton of new aircraft, which are very unique and interesting, such as the Chula, the first VTOL added to the game, and it did also allow you to customize aircraft for the first time in the series. So I think for that alone, it still deserves itself in a B tier. Well, this one is slightly controversial. The Doomsday Heist added an excellent 3-part heist adventure, 200 clothing items, 6 new Mark II weapon variants, 1 new Red Dead Redemption 2 themed revolver, 29 new vehicles, and 9 new facility properties. But why is this controversial though? It's the Deluxo, the first flying vehicle with rockets, and it really split the community, with it being a flying vehicle that had rockets. Because half the community really loved the addition and really enjoyed it, and the other half hated the direction GTA has taken since Gunrunning, and Deluxo really showcased the worst of it. Why can this car fly forever with rockets? It's kind of annoying, don't you agree? Me though, I quite like Doomsday. I understand the Deluxo was kind of a big issue, but I love the heist. The 3-part heists are great. Though, to replay the heist, it's really annoying. There's a lot of heists to replay, there's free heists, tons of setups, so I don't think it's as fun to replay, but I still think it's really good content. I think I like it enough to give it an A tier. Now this one is unbelievably controversial. In July of 2018, the ability to buy nightclubs was added, and with that came the nightclub promotion missions. And 330 new clothing items, 15 new vehicles, and a new stone hatchet weapons. This update isn't great, to be completely honest with you. It added the one thing GTA Online players fear to this day, a true flying vehicle. It's one that could outclass most vehicles flying and on the ground. The Oppressor Mark II still to this day has caused free mode lobbies to be plagued with people flying over and around on the Mark IIs, killing absolutely everything in their sights with homing rockets. The rest of the update wasn't much to go by, because it was very meh. It didn't really add anything too exciting, and the new business was a business that just uses your other businesses. You needed a bunker or crates or air freight if you wanted to use the nightclub business, which was kind of lazy in my opinion. This one belongs in the C tier. Things would get better though past After Hours, wouldn't they? Wrong. Arena Wars came to take the throne as the worst update yet. Releasing in December of 2018 to universal distaste from the community, it wasn't great. Adding an Arena Workshop, Arena Wars series, which are basically reskinned adversary modes, 15 RC Bandido races, 8 repo jobs, 300 clothing items, 3 new future laser weapons, and 21 new vehicles. If you wanted Mad Max and GTA, you got it. If you didn't, well, you're left with a boring and meaningless update. It added little value, and the only positive I could think was the TheIntelYT GTO car was quite nice. A sad but deserved D tier. July came and kicked off the Diamond Casino saga, renovating the casino into a sparkling resort with a penthouse, introducing gambling, 6 new missions, 16 new casino work, 5 new races, and RC time trials, plus 7 alien-themed survivals. After Halloween they were removed, 7 King of the Hill modes, 600 clothing items, 54 cards to collect, 100 action figures to collect, and 22 cars. Only 6 were available on launch day though. Whew, that's quite a lot though. This update, well, it was cool. The casino was beautiful and was a lovely thing to look at. The missions were a bit the new cars were alright, and the new missions and jobs were okay but not great. Like King of the Hill, for example. Does anyone else still play that? Probably not. I would say this is a C tier update, as to be honest, past the launch of the update, not many of you are hopping on to play King of the Hill, are you? Because, yeah, you're really going to the casino to spin the wheel to get a free car every week, basically. In December of 2019, it came the end of the Diamond Casino saga. The Diamond Casino heist opened up with a new heist, and to this point, heists have been pretty good, honestly, usually showcasing the best parts of online. This update added 1 heist with tons of different ways to tackle the main objective, arcade properties, 7 new open wheel races, 6 new contact jobs, 230 clothing items added, though most of it had to be unlocked through going through the heist multiple times, 2 new weapons, and 20 new vehicles. The cars were okay, but in my opinion, the heist was not it. The heist allowed you to explore and experiment, but that was my final positive. I just felt no drive or want to replay this heist. It just felt boring in my opinion. But it is decent enough and it added a nice chunk of content, so even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the heist, I still think it deserves a B tier. After the world shut down in 2020, Rockstar likely had to cut down the size and content of this update, as making games during these times are still as difficult as ever. But on August 11th of 2020 came the Los Santos Summer Special, adding 6 new super yacht missions, 9 new open wheel races, 320 clothing items, and 15 cars, which 6 of them had Benny Lowrider upgrades. Not exactly a major update compared to any other summer update like Diamond Casino and After Hours, but it was made during an incredibly challenging time in the world, and I have to give respect for that. But looking at the content, unfortunately this has to belong with Arena Wars in the D tier. The biggest GTA Online update to ever grace the game launched in December of 2020, adding a completely new island to GTA for the very first time. 1 new heist, which allowed complete freedom in how you wanted to tackle things, 3 new radio stations, 110 clothing items, a new submarine property / vehicle, 19 new vehicles, and 3 new weapons. This update, yes, may not add as much on the weapon and vehicle front, but it added a completely new heist, which was also solo for the very first time ever. It also allowed you to make money solo that was completely fast and easy. And it added a completely new map to explore, and it was all made during a global pandemic. My only issue with this update is the scouting Cayo Perico mission, which every time you want to do the heist, you have to go scout out every entry and how to get in and out of the island, which was really annoying in my opinion. I'm not sure if everyone's going to agree with me on this, but I think Cayo Perico deserves an S tier. On July 20th of 2021 came the most recent update to GTA Online that still hasn't finished releasing all of its content, so I want to say the Los Santos Tuners update isn't exactly completely finished. I can't rate it the same as the other updates as not all the content is already out, but for what it has added is what we can talk about. It added a new car meet location, test track inside the car meet, 7 new street races, a new auto shop property, repair and mod business, exotic exports, new contract missions, which are not contact missions, but they are like mini heists basically, with decent pay, and it also added 17 new cars. Only at the time of writing, only 15 of them are available, and 170 new clothing items which are exclusive to a merch shop. Overall, this is a really solid summer update after Diamond Casino, After Hours, and the Summer Special. It feels like classic GTA again, and is great, and I think this is a B tier update. I cannot stress this enough, it could easily hit an A tier once all the content has been released, as again, not all update content is out at the time of writing and recording. And that's the list. Obviously this is my own opinion, so if you have your own list, feel free to put it in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this, please subscribe or like, as it really helps me out and motivates me to keep making content, because this video is taking me, well, already, it's taking me a ton of time to make. I'm putting a lot of work and effort into make this video good. So thank you for watching, and please have a lovely day.